Welcome to the Pure American Podcast. We're your host, Fatty Red Boy. We were supposed to put an episode out Wednesday, but your boy fumbled the bag. The audio got messed up through our software that we use, so we apologize. Today we are keeping it very brief. We always say that. Or I always
This
say
one's
that.
probably going to be brief because I feel like shit.
Tristan's sick. I'm tired from a long week of work. For those of y'all that don't know, I would suggest if you're looking for a good job over the summer and you're a young kid, or you're like under the age of like 30, right? Or if you're just looking for a summer job, I'm doing it full time. But if you're looking for a summer job, millwright and pipe fitters. Places are always hiring, and the pay is good, and you get to be outside.
And it's a
Most
trade.
times.
You get good experience through a trade way better than you're going to do with your political science major that ain't going to give you fucking dick besides some toilet paper.
And I'd say if you're a high school kid and you're looking for a good job and you don't know what you want to do yet in the future, it's good. Millwright is good. Pipe fitting and construction work is good because you touch almost every single form of a trade, except for some of the like super specialized ones, like let's say like welding or something like that, or machining. But you do touch carpentry, masonry, you know what I mean? Millwright, like I said, stuff like that. So I suggest that. That's just because me and Tristan are big on college isn't for everybody, and it shouldn't be the answer to all your economic problems.
College is retarded.
It causes more economic problems, to be honest with you. There are some people out there that need to go, by all means.
Yeah, but those are for like people who actually want to do like big things. I don't get why everyone goes to college. Like people go to college just to get out and go be a pipe fitter. It's like, okay, now you're in fucking debt.
And be $60,000 worth of debt, right?
It's like you got a gender studies or something, and you're making $40,000 a year trying to live in New York. It's like, nah, dude, you're not gonna make it.
Yeah, I get it. Like, because you could kind of look at it like a military standpoint too. You know, you can go into like the academies, and you come out an officer, right? But you have no field experience, or you have very limited experience.
That's why we make fun of officers. That's
Versus
why
working your way up to ranks. You know what I mean? Because you can do that in the corporate world. You don't need a degree to advance. Some companies that you might work for would be like, I need you to go get a degree. That doesn't happen all the time. And generally, you can find another company that'll take you purely off of experience. Because nowadays, that's worth more than a degree.
Yeah, because even if you get a degree, you don't have any same idea field experience. But I mean, there's a lot of places now that have actually been doing it. It's pretty good. A lot of corporates or like corporate companies have been doing it. It's just like, okay, we'll hire you because you have experience, but you need to go to school while you're working for us. That way you can have the degree. Yep. You'll still get paid. You'll still be able to do your job. You just need
sometimes they'll pay
something
for it too.
Yeah, sometimes they'll pay because they wouldn't be paying for a whole college thing. It'd be online. You're doing classes. It's a lot cheaper.
Usually it's like a 2-year deal. It's not as long. But like I said, with that being said, this is not, and related to today's episode, but it's just a good talking point. Don't see college as the end-all, be-all. And I'm not saying don't go to college. It's just, it's not for everyone out there, right? And sometimes it's good to start working as soon as you get out of high school, 17, 18. You know what I mean? You're starting to make money, and you start saving money and building a 401k. You'd be retired at a decent age and be sitting on a good chunk of change when you're retired as well.
And if you're gonna go to college for the love of everything that's fucking holy, go with a plan. Don't go just because you want to go Greek or some shit and get to a sorority or a frat.
Not everyone, and I'll say this because I did the whole college thing for a little bit. You're not going to know exactly what you want to do. And a lot of people, when they come out of high school, don't know what they want to do. That's fine. You can skip along to different professions all you want. You're still making money, and you're getting experience in different things. But if you ever decide to go to college, don't go solely for, like you said, the party experience. Greek can help you, yes.
Yeah.
But you can get into just as many like fraternity deals going into trades or work. You know what I mean?
I just have an animosity towards Greeks.
I haven't had great experiences with them.
I fucking hate them. So besides my brother and his frat, every other fucking frat I've been in or sorority is just like, God, no.
Yeah, if you're gonna go just for the partying, and that, don't go to college if that's your only goal. If you are gonna go to college, it's gonna be very hard. I'll say be very, very hard. just be prepared for that. That's what he means by going with the plan. Know that your academics need to come first. You're in there for a reason, and you probably will come out with debt, and that is the first thing you need to put your money towards when you start making money.
Don't come out of college with debt because, you had to take out student loans and be like, huh?
How do I pay this back?
Why do I owe money? It's like, okay, It's like, we have even though our high school education system, I'll say, at least, that's the most fucking broken. But compared to other countries, our school system for college is a lot better than theirs. And so take advantage of it and don't wonder why the fuck you owe money, because it's a pretty good college system that we have, well, depending on where you fucking go.
And actually, I will make this political. This whole free college thing, no. Because it's not it's a privilege. It's not a right. You know what I mean?
I shouldn't have to pay for anyone's fucking college.
It's you don't have to go to college, and I think that's a problem. Speaking of the high school deal, is you're always beat down. You need to go to college. You need to go to college. No, you don't.
You wouldn't pay for my college. The government would. Where's the government gonna get the fucking money?
Me.
Yeah, from my ass.
I paid for 5 years of your life, didn't I?
Yeah, you paid for 4 years. Y'all were paying my salary for 4 years. I had enough of that. That's cool. I'm not paying any of y'all's fucking college. You guys decided to go to college. I decided to go into the fucking military.
I'd rather pay for the military anyway.
I'd rather pay to fund my boys in the military. They're still in the military, but I'm unemployed right now, so I don't pay taxes.
Anyway, moving on to the real meat and potatoes of today's episode. So, we have two things. One is a request for a video and a reaction on it. We'll get to that. It's a music video, which is interesting because Tristan has never really heard anything by the artist that we're going to listen to. I've
heard of him. Does he like Topher, kind of? His style?
In a sense. Yes.
Like Topher and Marine Rapper?
So, yeah. But before that, we're going to talk about this. So, Florida did something very DeSantis of them, very right-leaning. They have voted on banning the teaching of critical race theory in public schools. I had to explain it to Tristan before this episode, before we started recording, what critical race theory is. Essentially, right, it's a race-centered way of thinking, right? It's the view that...
Like everything.
Literally like everything. It's the view that racism is baked into the system and it's inescapable. And it's also like the view that racism is present even if no one is racist. The view that all disparities in a group and group outcomes are all due to racist systems. I read that off of a chart by Doctors Bruce Gilley, Peter Boghossian, and James Lindsay. I'm sorry if I butchered your name. They're from the Oregon Association.
Oregon or Oregon?
Oregon. Oregon?
Well, yeah,
how
like
you say it?
The state Oregon?
Yeah, how you say it?
I thought you said Oregon.
I said Oregon.
Oh, I thought you said O-R-G-A-N.
I talk funny. I'm from the South. Shut up.
So am I, but still.
Yeah, but no one would be able to tell from you. I'm sorry. Other than you saying brother all the time.
Or crick.
And this little thing right here.
Or crick.
Crick, yeah. I think that's a good move. I think it's a real good move.
He's been doing good moves anyways. He banned those transgenders from competing. DeSantis did competing in women's sports, and everyone got mad at him. It's just like he said that he wants to preserve that competition and the athleticism of a women's sport. Everyone was mad, but he did it on the first day of Pride. I'm like, well, he was gonna do it eventually. Why not make a fucking statement? Like,
and I will say, there's gonna be a lot of people out there be like, oh. I can guarantee Twitter's like, oh, they don't want to teach about racism. They're trying to cover up racism in America, and not the truth. Here's the problem with teaching something like that in public school. And I don't know at what age bracket they're going to teach this, if it's high school. Any type of age bracket, honestly, grade level, it's depressing. What you're essentially teaching kids are, if you are a minority in America, you will never be successful.
So this doesn't have anything to do, because like he said, he had to explain it to me. This doesn't have anything to do with teaching about slavery, does it?
No. We're talking about
this
like
is,
that there's systematic racism.
Race baiting, pretty much.
And the problem, like I said, is you're teaching kids that are minorities that they can never be successful in a way, right? Because there are so-called systems in place that they'll never have a chance to be successful. They'll never be able to live good lives, make decent money. You know what I mean? Accumulate wealth, have a successful family. You know what I mean? That's the problem I have. Anybody, if you're willing to work hard enough, can make it out of a really tough situation. I know because a lot of members of my family have done it, right? I wouldn't be here today if my grandparents and my parents didn't work hard. You know what I mean? Like really, really hard. And when I say that, everyone's like, oh, I work 2 jobs. Sometimes you got to work 4 or 5.
Well, everyone's like, they're like, oh, well, fucking, like you just said, they're saying that Twitter's probably saying that, oh, they don't want to teach about racism and this and that. I'm like, dude, Florida, I've been to Florida multiple times. Florida is a very unbothered place, especially when it comes to a racial diversity. Like
they're their own thing.
They're their own thing. Now, I'm not going to say take them as an example, because a lot of Florida's just cracked out fucking meth heads and alligators, and I don't fuck with alligators or meth heads. But
yeah, you would know about tweakers now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, fuck, dude, that shit was funny as fuck. But so it's
you
just
like
explain
that situation at all, real quick.
Yeah, I'll explain it real quick. But as thing.
Finish your thought.
Yeah, Florida is just, we should, when it comes to political policies and stuff like that, what they're trying to do, how they're trying to progress their own state, other states need to take a look at that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so a couple, 3 days ago,
Tristan's tweaker story.
Yeah, I've dealt with, I lived near Portland before. I dealt with tweakers, but... So I was driving down the road, and this other truck in front of me fucking, was talking to this dude that was on a bridge. I didn't notice it till the guy started pulling forward, and I just followed too. There's this tweaker that was on the bridge, tweaking about something, but he was bleeding all over the place. His hands were all covered in blood. He was covered in fucking blood, and so I drive... And I pull over to the side because, if someone pulls over to the side, you should pull behind them, especially when it's a situation like that. It's better to have 2 people rather than have 1. Sorry. And so I pull over. I'm talking to this other dude. And the dude who's sitting on the bridge bleeding all over the place is walking down towards us. I think the guy told him to come over. And so we're sitting there. The guy walks up. He's being kind of aggressive. He's talking about something about his baby mama, something about his kids, shooting blood out of his wrists about 10 fucking feet. And so, get him to calm down. I'm talking to him a little bit. I get him to sit down. I'm being nice. I fucking grab a sweatshirt out of my truck and wrap up his wrist, wrap up his hand, try to make a tourniquet because I didn't have any on me. And so. Then the guy has I couldn't tell if he was on something or not, but he had another outburst and threw the sweatshirt. I'm like, okay, so then, the dude that was in front of me, he was an off-duty cop. So I had my hand, this dude was kind of being aggressive, I had my hand on my gun, but then the guy in front of me, he put a vest over him, his police vest. He worked in Arlington, we both live in Fort Worth. And I'm like, okay, he's a cop. And so when the guy takes off again, we get in our trucks. I'm driving. He's driving too. I pull aside of him. I'm like, hey, you good? He's like, yeah, just go over to the parking lot. So I go over to the parking lot. I'm like, oh, a liquor store. So I walk in the liquor store, get myself a bottle and a Monster. And as I'm walking out, the dude that's spraying blood out of his fucking wrist is right next to my truck and smacks my truck and just shoots blood all the way. And I have a big truck.
Driving Cummins.
Yeah, and so he managed. I am homosexual.
He's not.
But when he smacked my truck, it shot blood all the way down the side of my truck, and even past my truck, you could see the blood, in the road. And so I just sat there. Cops. I talked to the guy that I pulled over behind. He thanked me for pulling over. He said he appreciated it because he didn't know if that guy had a knife or something. And then, luckily, the liquor store owners, I'm friends with them, they had buckets, so I was able to wash some of it off. But the cop wrote me a note, kind of stating where I was when this incident happened, so I wouldn't get, if I did get pulled over for having blood on my truck, I'd just show him the note and be like, yeah, I was there at that situation. I didn't fucking hit anyone. Oh, that was just some bullshit that happened. But yeah, that was my situation with a tweaker. That was the best welcome back to fucking Texas I've dealt with in a minute.
So yes, Florida has meth heads. Everywhere has meth heads. That was Tristan's story with the tweaker. Anyway, I say it's a good vote going back to not teach critical race theory. I'm hoping other states follow suit.
Well, yeah,
Assuming
because
they probably will, because there have been a couple states that have followed Florida's lead in a couple different issues.
it's also good because you're teaching these younger generation children, no matter what their race is, to not. That's the problem that we have is race baiting. And when you're teaching something like this, like, oh, you're systemically oppressed through everything, including I shouldn't say occupation. Like related to income or whatever it is. Like I had told you earlier, I think it's more of a cultural issue rather than, economic issue.
Mm-hmm.
But it teaches these kids not to race bait because that's what everyone wants to do, no matter what your race is. I mean, even, like white saviors too, they just automatically want to go to race baiting. And that shit just gets nowhere, especially when you're in a debate or an argument.
Not everything's about race. And
That's
like
what
I
I'm
said,
saying.
Life's not fair. Sometimes you have you come out at a lower starting point than someone else, but you can move past that if you work hard enough. And sometimes working hard enough, like I said, means like having a lot of multiple jobs. And it sucks, yeah, but at some point in time, it's gonna pay off.
The thing is, it's like.
It's proven, actually. It's a proven fact.
No. I get that. I'm just
Working hard
saying.
pays off.
I'm just saying. It's like I don't get it. Why? If we didn't have people who race baited, like in the States or just in general, people who didn't want to believe that, there's or what am I trying to say?
Their economic situation
Yeah, but like,
was due to race.
what's that?
What are you trying to say, that their economic situation is due, even if it is due to race? Or
No. If the school system wasn't teaching this type of shit, then we wouldn't have motherfuckers like our generation now who literally that's their whole entire, like, they build a platform and their whole entire platform is built around race baiting.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, there's just way too many influential kids on these platforms because, kids are getting iPhones at 12 years old now. Next thing you know, kids are just thinking, oh, white people are fucking racist.
Mm-hmm.
A dog on a TV show is fucking racist. Cops are fucking bad. It just keeps going on.
Yeah, negative, man. It's not good. It's not good to live that way under all that pressure. And think
You can
about
be
that all the
so
time.
much happier not worrying about what someone's race is, what their race has to do with any type of economic, not responsibility, but economic situation. It's just so stupid.
Oh yeah, and by the way, not to sound like a Debbie Downer, not everyone's going to be a multimillionaire.
Oh yeah, another thing, it's like a misconception that's a real big problem. If you were born into a wealthy family, it is not your fault that you are wealthy. It's not in any way, shape, or form. It's just like you didn't run a slot game when you were getting born and then just say rich, and you fuck. It's not a goddamn casino when you're conceived.
Nor is it your responsibility to give away your wealth to people that are less fortunate than you. While I am all for charity, don't get me wrong, it is not your responsibility to have to give a certain amount of money away, like once a month or quarterly or something like that.
If you want to, that's great, but don't also guilt trip people into not doing it, like you see on pretty much every new charity coming about. Not everyone, but most of the new charities, they like to guilt trip people, and then their influencers do the same. But it's not your fault if you were born into a rich family or a better off family because you didn't choose that life. And if your parents worked hard to have a wealthy family because they had the family mindset in mind before they had you as a kid,
or creating generational wealth in mind.
Generational wealth. Watch, that's gonna be something. That's gonna be the next thing that's up on Twitter. It's gonna be generational wealth versus generational trauma. It's just gonna fucking
Poverty or something like that.
But yeah, honestly, welfare. It's like,
Yeah. Today is a special episode. Side note, because this is like one of the only episodes you'll ever see Tristan's forehead, ever.
yeah, my hats are in my truck. All of them, I swear. Literally all of them.
That's where I keep mine.
Besides one down there that my dog got to.
With that kind of covered up, we're gonna get into the back half of this episode. We're gonna watch, and this was actually suggested to us through Twitter. Guys, leave something in the comment section or hit us up on Twitter, Pure American Pod. Give us suggestions of what maybe we should talk about, and we'll try and get to them, man, because we do like hearing from y'all and interacting with y'all, and the stories you want us to cover. So we're going to take a look at, and a lot of people have already talked about this, and it's a controversial music video. It has everything that this artist puts out is pretty much controversial, but I do like it. Is Snowflake by Tom Macdonald. So Tristan has never really ever listened to this guy. He's heard of him. I've listened to a lot of his songs. I don't like bump them while I'm driving down the road, but I do listen to them and listen to what he's saying, and he does have a lot of good stuff. He's kind of, I don't want to say he's super right-leaning. He's more independent. He calls out both sides. So I want to watch this because I'm interested, because I know a lot of people on social media, the term snowflake is typically used towards a left-leaning person. I know a lot of right-leaning snowflakes.
Yeah, because the term snowflake in general is just someone who's triggered easily, and there's those people on both sides.
Very much so. I think it's stupid to say it's not. But anyway,
it's just that Republicans and conservatives kind of claimed that word because they started using it like in excessive fucking amounts. I did too when I was super fucking political. But it's like, yeah, no, it goes both ways, both sides.
So let's go ahead and let's check it out, bro.
If you lie to the government, they'll put you in prison. But when they lie to all of us, it's called being a politician. You think taking guns away will save our kids from the killings? But you're pro-choice, abortion kills way more children. If America's so...
Well, that was facts off rip. Hold on. Wait, what did you just say?
If they lie to us, they're called a politician. That one's facts.
If you lie to the government, they put you in prison. But if
they lie to us, they're called a politician.
That's facts.
Uh-huh.
That's so facts. Like that, you don't understand. And then what did he say about the guns? I have to rewatch that. But that's so true. Literally, a politician's whole career is based off of lies. And if you don't lie enough, you typically don't get picked up by whoever's funding you. And that goes to the right and left.
Killings, but you're pro-choice. Abortion kills way more children. If America's so terrible and racist, it probably...
So he just said, hold on, about the guns, because I want to look back. So you're talking about taking away guns, but if you're pro-choice, abortion kills way more children. That's true. And we've surpassed the Holocaust in terms of people dead and a mass scale.
Oh,
right?
we surpassed that years ago.
I don't understand how people are pro-choice. I really don't.
Yeah,
I genuinely don't.
For me, it's like I normally stay it's like my moral standpoint, because my mom, my sister, my lady have different views than I do. So, and with my platform, I just never talk about abortion. Even though I have my opinions, I have very strong opinions. But yeah, I'm the same way. I don't really get how you can do that.
Nope, you're robbing somebody of a potentially great life. Also, someone who could possibly bring your family out of poverty. Going back to what we were saying earlier. Anyway, continuing on.
Unless they're a SoundCloud rapper.
Yes.
It isn't safe to encourage immigration. Just saying, all the contradictions are embarrassing. You know who hates America the most? Americans. Trigger warnings used to be on TV for seizures, and now they're everywhere to protect millennials' feelings.
I like that. That was hard.
That too. That was hard. And that's so true. I feel like you can look across, like, all across the world. There's plenty of people out there who are like, I love America, from other countries. I love America. America's fantastic. It seems like right now, honestly, the only people who hate America these days, outside of like terrorists.
Dude, honestly, I'm at the point where I think it's some of these Americans hate America more than terrorists.
Honestly, I genuinely believe it. That Americans are like the people who hate America the most. The whole trigger warning thing was hard too, to be honest with you. So far, so good. I'm liking it.
Okay, apparently I'm meeting with Lance later. Didn't know about that.
Attaboy.
He, she, his, him, hers, them, they. Screw a pronoun, because everyone's a retard these days. I hear him...
Oh Oh my god. Wait, how far are we into the song?
This is like
30 seconds?
This is 32 seconds into the song.
Jesus,
this man's
dude.
already coming at everybody.
A goddamn 3-minute long. He's spoken more facts than Joe Biden's done in his whole life, and this motherfucker's 30 seconds into some shit. We all retards. Dude, you damn fucking right. Goddamn, dude.
I'm retarded. I'm half retarded. No.
Oh, yeah, I'm just fucking...
Everybody's slightly retarded, people.
No, we're getting to... You have generational wealth, generational trauma, and generational retardation. That's what we're fucking getting to, bro.
Alright.
These days, hear him preaching at the protest that hatred's the problem, but hating straight men, white folks, and Christians is common. Coca-Cola telling people they should be less white. They preach intolerance, but if you disagree, they fight.
I think that's been something people have been calling out since day one. Is the hypocrisy of everyone
that it's okay
preaches for tolerance,
but it's honest, okay to hate on white people, Christians, and straight people.
I feel like though. It's kind of moved away from that a little bit to where they don't even preach tolerance anymore. It's mostly just openly hate against white people, straight people, whatever he just said, Christians and all that stuff.
Yeah, white Christians and straights. It's
funny how Christians get attacked a lot because when Muslims have a lot of the same similar beliefs when it comes to moral things, and if not even that, a little more extreme ways of dealing with it too.
We just don't get 17 wives when we go to heaven.
72.
72. Oh, 72 virgins.
Well, that's what jihadists believe, which is a different pillar of faith added onto the Muslim core pillars of their faith. And not all of them, contrary to popular belief, a lot of Muslims, majority of Muslims hate jihadists. So continuing on.
There's a race war here, elections based on fear. Black lives only matter once every 4 years. Soldiers died for this country and every one of us benefits. Give welfare to the bums and forget about the veterans.
That's a good one right there too.
I was about to say, you could, not saying that you were, not saying you're in like need, but I mean you're in the military. Vets
still disabled, but I'm getting fucking paid by the government still. But it's like, yeah, I don't get that why there's so many. It's funny because people will support wholeheartedly charitable organizations that want to help out homeless people, and then as soon as it comes to the same people that want to support those organizations that want to help homeless people, I would say some of them, yes, demonize like 22 a day and other organizations like that support veterans. They demonize them. Like, oh, they're fighting for oil. I'm like, this dates back to like Desert Storm for these organizations. I don't get why do you want to give money to homeless people that are just going to go out and, not all, but a large portion of them are on drugs. They're on some sort of drugs and they want to go out and buy something with that money. That's why if I have helped homeless people before, but I haven't given them money. If they've asked me for money, if you want to get them food or something like that. I'll ask them. And I'm like, if they're normally outside of like a Subway or some shit, I'm like, I'm not going to give you money. I'm like, I'll get you some food.
Yep.
And a lot of them, they'll say, yes, thank you. That's why I know, like, their mindset isn't to go buy drugs. But then some people are like, no, I could just take cash. I'm like, yo, that's fucking crazy, bro. I got a card. It's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Do you want, it's free food. If you don't want it, just say so.
They deny food. They're like, no, I just want money. I'll go get something else. I'm like, okay, you're not getting anything then. I just offered
I'm not that guy.
I offered to buy you fucking food. They're just like... Or some people, I've ran into a couple when I'm just like, I'll get you some food, and then they'll ask me for a ride. I'm like, you're not getting in my truck, bro. I'm like, you're not getting in my truck.
All right, here we go.
Black folks and white folks divided by the news, but we are all the same. We are red, white, and blue. Ashamed to be American? Okay, that's cool. Because honestly, we are all ashamed of you too.
This is so true. This is like I always say, bro. I hate the term African American or white American or Mexican American. Like, I get it, your heritage and whatnot, but at the end of the day, we're all American, and it really shouldn't matter what your race is.
Yeah, that's why when I say, it's like when someone asks me, because they'll ask me, like, if they don't know me already, like someone I meet on the street or someone I meet at a bar, like I've been asked before, like, because some people can't tell because they see like my skin, but they see my poly tattoo and they see my eyes. They're like, what race are you? Or what ethnicity? I'm just like,
American.
I'm like, I'm Asian, I'm not gonna say, yeah, I'm Asian American. No, I'm just like, no, I'm Asian because I am Asian, but it goes without saying that I'm American. I mean, yesterday when I was at the bar, when I was out with Joey and Aubrey and Rihanna, actually met these really cool dudes at the bar. All of them were straight away, like, I could tell they were Indian, but all of them were actually straight from India. They were all cool as fuck.
Yeah. You're American above anything else, right?
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
asked them, and they're just, I'm like, so, like, are you guys Indian? They're just like, oh, yeah, we're Indian. I'm like, oh, okay, so were you born here? They're like, no, we're Indian. I'm like, oh, okay, and then they told me where they're from. I'm like, oh.
Sick. Glad you look at you making friends.
Yeah,
You're
we
not
were
a douchebag all the time.
we were going shot for shot. It was hilarious.
No, Lord.
They're so fake, oh no. The forecast said that there'd be snowflakes. Whoa, you can make us see it your way. No
The gore is kind of hard, though. I'm not gonna lie. Let's continue.
way, gasoline and propane, more flames. Oh no, no more snowflakes. They set us up to fail, that's what they built the system for. Put an ammunition shop across the street from a liquor store. Empowering women used to be different than this before. The role models got OnlyFans or dance on a stripper pole.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling out
you.
these fucking women that I just
Whores. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I hate to say it.
I
It's,
hate using that word, but it's true.
You're not empowering younger women with an OnlyFans or
You're
flaunting your
sexualizing
body.
them. And
Yeah,
that's not
you're-
empowerment.
You're
It's
teaching
not
them to sell their
self-respect.
body, and it's, I mean, you're teaching these young kids, especially these people, especially since TikTok is the biggest social media platform right now, teaching these younger girls that selling your body on through a camera onto a platform for some money. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of jealous that some of these bitches be making a stupid amount of fucking money just off of that, but it's like,
You're working like 7 days a week.
exactly, and they're
for
posting
10 hours a day.
they're posting feet pics and shit. I'm jealous they make that much money. I'll never deny that shit, but you shouldn't be teaching these younger girls that selling your body. And I'm not going to bring up sex working because I don't like sex working covers a lot. I'm not talking, I don't agree with like prostitution, but you know, some people go into like being strippers because, you know, that's how they pay for fucking college. But you shouldn't be teaching these way younger children on a social media platform that's public, and these kids are allowed to have this shit now at like 6 years old, that this is socially acceptable. I mean, it's your body, do what you fucking want, I guess, but don't promote it to younger kids. It's like the gym, like the whole entire lifting community now. Everyone's promoting SARMs to these younger kids, especially on TikTok. It's
I'm
like,
just gonna tell you right now, I'm
Everyone's
stronger than
inf-
most of people on SARMs. You don't, and I did naturally. You don't need SARMs.
oh, you don't need SARMs. He's strong as shit. What, you deadlift 305? I'm just kidding.
305.
I know. You deadlift, what was it, 700 or
I
600?
hit 800.
You did hit 800?
Hit it.
God damn.
So yeah,
405. I'm doing fucking superb, brother.
you don't need SARMs, kids.
Yeah, it's just, statement still stands. You guys are promoting shit to very influential kids, children. And it's not
sad.
okay.
It's very sad.
And you're still profiting off of it too, which is also very sad.
Continuing on.
Screw it, I ain't tripping, I don't mean to be mean. But if our children are the future, then our future is bleak. They take an Adderall to focus, hit McDonald's to eat. They're addicted to phones and they take Xanax to sleep. They blurred the lines dividing communism and democracy. In 2021, we paint the patriots as Nazis. The men playing women's sports get trophies for winning.
That last one, the
wait.
Patriots
Let's
as
finish.
Nazis,
Let's let
and
him
then
finish
that.
real quick.
Like, great, let's celebrate a man for beating some women. If
No, because it's so true. The Patriots as Nazis, and this goes back to saying Antifa, right, is fighting fascism. It's not. They want to paint people who are pro-America and pro what America stands for as Nazis. which is
Pro-America,
crazy.
pro-democracy. They're like, nope. They're like, you guys are Nazis because it's like, so the thing with Antifa is that it's not even based off of like what they believe to, I guess, what they believe to be true with like fascism and stuff like that. It's like they have this, like literally this own concept in their mind that anything that goes against them is fascist, and they want to take that to literally just extreme fucking
They're
lengths.
so anti-fascist that they actually do.
They're so anti-fascist
Fascism.
that they don't know what fascism is.
They practice fascism too.
Yeah.
Crazy, ain't it? It's crazy. And the transgender thing is something we touched on a lot too. You're
Yeah,
literally
like 5
he's right,
episodes.
You're promoting women beating or men beating women. Is literally what you are, because when you promote the whole transgender deal in sports, fully integrated sports, I'm sorry, that is the death of women's sports.
That's
forever.
the thing. It's gotten to the point where, like, oh, well, we want equality. But if we're talking about actual equality, y'all can say whatever you fucking want about us. A man is not a fucking woman. Whether he identifies as a woman, is still not a fucking woman. So y'all don't even know what equality means anymore.
Let me say this right now. I think the women's world record deadlift is 600. World record. I think
For actually woman?
Yeah, it's 600 pounds. If I were to identify as woman, I could break almost every single lifting record, and no other competitor would touch me.
Hey, you think?
Not even close.
Imagine if Noel did that. Mm-hmm. Noel, I forgot what he deadlifts, but you already know that. Him or fucking Seabohm, if they want to identify as women and get another title that they already fucking have, then fuck them. It's just...
Think about strongmen like Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw and all that stuff. Yeah. And even like the MMA situation with Fallon Fox and the other one where she literally... Fallon Fox... like fractured an actual woman fighter's skull.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That doesn't
shit.
happen on
that
gender on gender.
MMA.
It's very rare that happens. But there is, no matter how much hormones you take, there will always be a genetic difference.
You see the
can't
pattern.
alter the chromosomes.
The pattern is literally you don't see women transitioning to men and going into men's competitions. You only see men transitioning into women and going into women's.
Losers, bro. I'm sorry about it, but those are losers.
It's because you can't compete in your own gender bracket, so you got to go to another gender bracket to make yourself seem valid, and that is absolutely disgusting.
Moving forward.
If you're black, your life matters, you're supposed to embrace it. If you're rich or you're smart, then you're probably Asian. If you're gay, then you're brave, all of that I'm okay with. But if you're white, the stereotype is you are a racist. Blaming capitalism like that's the reason things are...
That's facts too, because it's all good until you're white. All that stuff you just said is fine. Being proud of your race, being rich, being smart is fine if you're a minority apparently in America. But as soon as you're white and that happens, you're racist.
No, everyone's like, oh, well, white people were born into racism. And
even if it's a white kid that was adopted by an all-black family, somehow it's still racist.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
in some way.
They don't even think about like a white kid being adopted by black parents. Will say, oh, well, you were born white, so you were born into racism. Racism is taught. Mm-hmm. Right? You don't come out of the vaginal canal just thinking, you know what? I hate black people, I hate Mexicans, I hate Asians, or vice versa, because everyone can be racist. Mm-hmm. But it's taught. It's not. That's why a lot of racists and, like older people that are racist, racism was if there was someone who's 80 years old, racism was a completely different story way back then. Mm-hmm. They grew up learning it, it kind of goes based off of, like how they raised their family and stuff like that. But you aren't born into racism. You're like, oh, you're just born into a systemically oppressive society. It's like, no, this dude was born, he was a baby. He wasn't just born a racist. He wasn't born a fucking neo-Nazi or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is when you talk about, like, oh, black people are poor and all that stuff, white people don't know what that's like, I want you to go down to parts of the rural South, like the deep South, and Appalachia. First of all, those places down in the rural South, some of those places haven't even recovered from the Civil War, and that was almost 200 years ago.
You know how we got like in Washington, we had fucking, Starbucks on every corner. We got trailer parks on every corner down here.
Mm-hmm. And like the Appalachian area, bro, some of those places don't even have running water. You got to tap into a stream or like some form of a spring or a well system.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like that's poor, dog. And most of those people that live out there are white.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's insane. Moving forward.
Tough while you tweet from an iPhone and sip on a Starbucks. You're supporting what you stand against. You don't think you are, but a Percocet addict don't donate money to pharma. Damn.
Anti-capitalist tweeting on an iPhone like he just said on Twitter while drinking Starbucks. The irony.
That's the
the
thing.
irony.
You run into all these people that are like anti-capitalism, and they're sitting there, same thing, drinking Starbucks, or they're wearing, hype beast type shit. They're wearing Gucci or something.
Do you remember Communizzy?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's this girl. She's like pro-communist, clearly from her name.
Obviously retarded.
Anti-capitalist, super anti-capitalist. Has her Venmo in her bio.
Obviously retarded.
Ironic.
But yeah,
Ironic.
it's just, you can't be anti-capitalism. Meanwhile, you're wearing Jordans, you're wearing...
That is some room temperature IQ stuff when they say stuff like that and then do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Room temperature IQ. For those who don't get that reference, it means your IQ is low. Continuing.
Damn, dog, we're all afraid to speak the truth. And the more afraid we get, the more we hate the ones who do. You're ashamed to be American? Okay, that's cool. Because honestly, we are all ashamed of you too. Y'all are so...
Okay, so you said the same thing. It's true. I think most Americans... I'm ashamed sometimes to say I'm American because of all of our... Which is sad because I love America. I love where I live. It's such a privilege and an honor to be born here, right? Or even just live here. And sometimes I look at the people who are out there in the streets and I'm like, bro... You're making us look stupid. World leaders in other nations laugh at us right now.
Mm-hmm. And we've said that multiple times. It's like, dude, like, we said it when Biden was elected. Our politics, our election is like, and this isn't even like a reference to anything right at all. Like, literally, they watch our election in other countries because it's a comedy show to them. And I get why it's a comedy show. Our politics, our election, every 4 years is fucking hilarious. It is laughable. It's a fucking joke. It's really not to be taken fucking seriously. And that's why they watch it, because it's fucking funny. Mm-hmm. They're watching literally every 4 years when it comes around election time, our whole entire country crumbles between diversity, arguments back and forth, not even debates. People just saying, I'm right, you're fucking wrong. And that's why they watch it, because they like, other countries like watching our country crumble.
It's an unscripted episode of SNL, essentially.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely.
It's sad. It's depressing.
Fuck them.
Let's get through the chorus.
Oh no, the forecast said that there'd be snowflakes. Whoa. You can make us see it your way, no way. Gasoline and propane, more flames.
The music video is hard, by the way. I'm not gonna lie, the backdrop's sick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh no, no more snowflakes. We can all get along, but there's no stopping. Ay, everybody's wrong, that's a real problem. Ay, they don't wanna hear it, but they still talking. Ay, soon enough, we running out of options. Ay, this ain't gonna end till it's in the coffin. Ay, we ain't gonna be friends till we try to squash it. Ay.
I think that's true. It's kind of sad to see. Like, I don't see. He just said it's not gonna end till it's in a coffin, right? Till people die. I don't see really an end to the divide we have right now.
No, there's not going to be an end, because, I mean, these politicians, when they pass away, someone else is going to take their place. These politicians are either going to have the same ideologies because they were taught the same ideologies going through their political experience, going through their political career from these other motherfuckers that just died. So it's not really like their whole entire ordeal is going to be the same.
Extreme too.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't put it past it. They'll definitely probably get way more extreme.
And I'm not saying we don't have to think the same way to get along, but like, you can have different opinions and still be a respectful person and get along with people.
I have friends that
don't
are
understand.
I have a lot of friends that are Democrats, liberals, and I get along with them just fine. We're able to have political debates, or like even some of my friends that we get into super heated debates or super heated discussions. We're still friends. We just know to stay away from fucking politics when we're together. Right. It's like, it's a pretty simple concept that a lot of people just aren't able to fucking grasp because they're fucking retarded.
Yep. It's sad, man. As long as you're a respectful person, man, don't matter what politics. And I don't like. I mean, me and Tristan most of the time, like, this is where we vent most of our politics. I'm not very political outside of stuff like this.
Yeah, we moved all of our shit over to YouTube just because, fuck it.
I'm a blue collar dude, man. I'm just trying to get by in life, and I vent my politics here to everybody who wants to listen. So, moving forward.
I don't know how we can make amends or we drop it. Snowflakes melt when it's hot, kid.
Y'all are so fake. Oh no, the forecast said that there'd be snow.
I will say this: he does all his stuff, I think, on his own. He doesn't have a record label, so like all the production stuff is all on his own. So, pretty dope. Proof you don't need anybody's help to do things too.
No welfare.
Whoa, you can make us see it your way. No way, gasoline and propane. More flames, oh no, no more snowflakes.
Well, that was pretty cool. I will say that.
That was pretty good too.
So, I hope y'all enjoyed that breakdown. The man spits facts. If you get a chance, you should watch all of. He's got a bunch of videos like "No Lives Matter," "People Are Dumb," or "People Are Stupid." One of the two. I don't remember the name.
I'll
They're
probably
all
listen to him because, like I said, I'm friends with Topher, I'm friends with Marine Rapper and Bryson, and I like all their stuff too. Only difference I see here is this dude's fucking white. And I feel like he probably comes under a lot of like scrutiny or under a lot of fire. Yeah, but
Anything
mainly
he
because
does
he
goes like viral.
Yeah, but he talks about stuff. He talks about what, Democrats will say is, oh, it's a black issue. I'm like, no, it's just called a fucking issue. It's not a black issue, Hispanic issue, Asian issue, white issue. But he talks about black issues too, like you see, and then we said no lives matter, and I guarantee you he probably posted that last year when that whole entire ordeal with George Floyd was going down. And so I just know he comes under a shit ton of fire because, Black Twitter's probably got to have his ass on some shit.
Oh yeah. That's why he does all stuff on his own. Because.
But there's probably a lot. If y'all didn't know, there's a surprisingly amount of, like a large amount of minorities that would agree with all the shit that he was just saying. There is a very large amount because not everyone is, no matter what the media decides to portray nonchalantly, minorities aren't all sheep. I'm a minority. Most of my fucking friends, they're minorities and they aren't sheep. They don't feed into that stupid shit that just gets implanted in people's brains every time you watch the fucking news.
It's good water. I'm sorry.
Well, I need to get more beer.
Well, that about
supposed to go out.
that about wraps it up for today's episode. Kept it under. It's pretty short, man. We're doing better.
Thought it was gonna take longer with that video.
We apologize for the amount of just like lack of content, man. Like I said, busy. He's been sick, moving. We're grinding, man. We're trying. We love doing this. And like, if you have anything, leave it in the comments. Hit us up on Twitter. We'd love to review and talk about stuff, man, because we just like speaking, and sometimes
we like the sound of our own voice.
I don't, but
I've gotten used to it. All I've done is rant in a mirror for a year. So I do, next episode though, I do want to talk about what Biden said, because I know that probably this coming week he's going to make a statement. Oh, that's not what I meant. It's just like, no, what you just said was super unconstitutional. Yeah.
So stay tuned for next episode.
It involves Hellfire missiles, and AK-47s, and gun rights. And we love talking about fucking gun rights.
Yeah, me and Tristan are very, very pro-gun. Like, probably to the point where we're on a watch list somewhere.
Yeah. I got most of mine are in that closet.
With that being said, man, hey, it's been fun. I'm Fatty. That's Red Boy. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. And we'll see y'all on the next one. Deuces.